Disclaimer: this video contains music and video footage from a game I did not create. Skelattack is owned by Ukuza and Konami. This video contains spoilers for Skelattack. Viewer discretion is advised. This video contains opinions from some guy on the internet whose opinions don't matter. I'm not trying to attack any other opinions, nor do I believe that my opinion is in any way factual or objective. If you hate opinions other than yours, please use discretion when commenting. This video is not intended for children under the age of 13, nor is my channel. The Child Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, states that nobody under the age of 13 should have, among other things, a YouTube account. Hello boyos and girlos, and welcome to The Grind, the show where the game plays you. Today we're looking at a game featuring the runner-up for my favorite cartoon skeleton, Skelattack, created by Ukuza and published by Konami. Sharpening swords, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get started. In short, humans invade the dungeons in which Skelattack takes place, in pursuit of the blue flame, which brings all of the monsters their second lives. Scully, our protagonist, along with goth baseball Ember, have to stop the humans and resecure the blue flame. Along the way, he helps a lot of people with their own problems, and gains the new tools he'll need to beat the humans. Our story begins in Aftervale, a safe haven for all things dead. The land is being raided by the humans for the blue flame. The artifact which brings all dead things to life once again, and again, and again. Skeletons who arrive in Aftervale eventually have an event called the Remembrance, which allows them to remember what they were as humans. This is where Scully comes in. Scully is our hero this time, being trained in the way of the sword with his bad friend Ember. Scully goes through the sewers, Vineland, the Forge, gets locked up in prison for it, escapes the prison, and goes to a crypt. And then he goes to the castle to challenge a hooded figure, the one who took the blue flame and killed Ember. Now who is this hooded figure? As it turns out, Scully has his remembrance before challenging the hooded figure, and he learns of his origin. As it turns out, he was Prince Sullivan of the humans. He went in first and got killed during the human raid. He is the son of the king, who is terminally ill, but with the power of the blue flame can be resurrected. The human raid is now headed by Princess Serenity, the current heir to the throne, and Scully's sister. She is disillusioned, and feels that the king has to survive to keep the human kingdom afloat. Scully tries to talk her out of fighting him, but she feels she must, even if she'll die trying. Scully ends up defeating her and recovering the blue flame before the king shows up right as he's about to kill her. The king reassures Serenity that his time is up, and that this is for the best. Saving the life of one man versus the life of thousands is not a good thing to do. He figures that Serenity will be the best queen she can be, but then passes her way off screen, where the ending cutscene shows Scully being paraded as a hero with the cliche, "The true hero wasn't me, but all of you ending." Skelattack is simple in its gameplay. It's a basic Metroidvania in a lot of aspects. For those who don't know, Metroidvania is a term you'll need to understand, especially for future episodes of The Grind. Metroidvanias are 2D platformers which have you gaining new abilities in certain areas to be able to progress through others, named after Metroid and Castlevania being examples of Metroidvania. Skelattack is a short, back-to-basics Metroidvania with difficult platforming challenges and fun boss fights. Skelattack features a few different mechanics, mainly the inventory. The inventory is the replacement for spells or items in traditional Metroidvanias, being a quick select depletion of mana which gives you a benefit of some fashion. In my first playthrough of Skelattack, I only found 4 items. I found the Boomerang, which lets you throw your raid as a boomerang, the triple jump, which is self-explanatory, the sonar, which allows you to detect hidden items, and the healing spell, which I didn't find at the point in the game I should have, leading to me figuratively banging my head against a wall until it broke. You also have a sword and can wall jump. The game primarily features a checkpoint system, with blue lanterns marking checkpoints. There are many instinctual hazards leading to many retries to the point where some signs tell you how many times you died. Most of the time though, these puzzles felt fair. Now there is one downside. The way that you are punished for dying absolutely sucks. Some of your crystals are pooped out where you die, often making them unreachable, and despawn when you die again, being replaced. Why is this bad? Well, in boss fights, those crystals despawn after you die the first time, making most upgrades and purchases in the game logistically impossible without grinding. Speaking of purchases, Aftervale holds 2 shops and a mining tunnel. The first shop is the blacksmith, which allows you to trade rare metals to upgrade your bone sword. The second is where a mage is, and you can upgrade your inventory abilities should you have enough crystals. The mining tunnels function identically to stag stations from Hollow Knight, where you can access them and travel to any other stations you have open. This is useful for errand running. First in the gripes is a gripe I can't blame the game for. The game is very obscure. There's only about 5 walkthroughs I can find, none of them 100% complete or comprehensive. No wiki, no IGN collectibles walkthrough, nothing. Very annoying to deal with. I didn't know where to get things or how much I could get, leading to many restarts due to me being underpowered. I fought Serenity with my sword fully upgraded, but that was preceded by me getting stuck on that cheap-ass Sage Underhand. More on him later. I was missing 2 rare metals and didn't have the healing spell, to the point where I had to find a rare metal in the healing spell to beat him, due to a gripe we'll talk about in a minute. Next, we have the contact damage. I don't know what it is, but in this game, contact damage is very annoying. Normally in a game, contact damage pushes you out of an enemy. In Skelattack, however, I lost many fights due to the fact that I physically could not escape their hurt box. I've had fights where the contact damage is more than their actual attacks. The biggest criminal here is Sage Underhand, who makes clones of himself which all do the same damage as him and only show up in one of his few hit opportunities. Skelattack encourages getting greedy with your hit count, and in this fight he takes a lot of hits and teleports away a lot. Additionally, leaps would be counted as attacks due to the fact that you ran into the enemy hitbox. This became especially annoying during the fight with the Bard and the Paladin, where the Bard pushes you into the Paladin's hitbox. Every boss I fought took at least a few tries thanks to the funky hitboxes. This isn't Hollow Knight, where contact takes 1 heart of health. No, Skelattack uses actual health bars, meaning attacks can do variable damage consistently. I enjoyed some of these fights, but I hated feeling cheated out of a win thanks to crappy hitboxes, especially due to how short range your sword is. And before you tell me, Chris, you're just bad at the game, I beat every boss first try. Good for you, but that doesn't excuse how poorly implemented the contact damage system is. It's supposed to keep you from going inside the enemy to cheese them to death. It isn't supposed to be their main method of attack. At least in other games, the contact damage feels fair, but in Skelattack it becomes an annoyance due to how blatantly unfair it becomes. Skelattack carries one of my biggest gaming pet peeves. Skelattack is a link between worlds kind of issue where the final boss is a save point, and once you beat the game, you respawn at their door again and again. I hate points of no return, more on that when I review Psychonauts, and this is no exception. Let me wander around after fighting the bosses. Maybe let me refight bosses. Something, but no, because I didn't want to restart my file just to get gameplay footage, you're watching however long it took me to beat Serenity for the 4th time. Something we've already mentioned. Death system. Losing those crystals in a place I'd have to be frame precise to get them back or died trying got very frustrating when things cost 200 to 500 apiece and enemies only drop 6. Is the game trying to pad out its 3-hour run with grinding? I don't know, but I sure hope it's not the case. Lastly, the awkward controls. Skelattack has you move with WASD, use the map with M, quick select with Q, slash with J, interact with K, use your item with L, and access your inventory with I. Why they have such weird-ass PC keybinds? I'll never know. Then again, it was probably intended for a controller anyways. Next, the Gushing Points. The art style and the music up first. The game is very pretty, save for some human designs. All the monster designs ooze personality, which I enjoy very much. They all look unique and leave no confusion as to who's who. The environments are gorgeous and full of life, full of moving parts that make the world of the dead feel oh so alive. The music wraps it all together in a nice neat bow and always enhances the mood in the game until the very end. Lastly, in the Gushing Points, the characters. Scully and Ember have a natural chemistry and it's pleasant to see. Many background characters all talk in unique ways and always bring something to the table. The humor in the game is almost exclusively dialogue based and the characters deliver funny lines all the time, even with the limitations text provides. Skelattack did get a few chuckles out of me, which is more than I can say for a lot of games. Let's dust off the bones of this game and figure out what went wrong. Skelattack is short, criminally short, almost too short to make an impression. Skelattack is probably the shortest game I've ever played, or at least in recent memory, and I enjoyed it, but the problem is that it didn't leave a lasting impression, with only a bitter taste in my mouth from the frustration the game brought me at times. Skelattack is like Hue in a sense, where the ending is really good, but the beginning and the middle of the game are lacking. Except for the fact that where Hue made me feel stupid, Skelattack made me feel cheated. I know it didn't intend to do that, but the game did that multiple times through the sloppy implementation of combat features. I am a firm believer, however, that you should try games that look appealing, no matter what someone says about it. Skelattack has a lot of charm, but doesn't have the length and gameplay quality to back it up. Additionally, Skelattack is way too short for its price, being a $20 game for on average about 3.5 hours of gameplay. That is way too much. Buy it when it goes on sale and give it a shot. You might get something out of it that I didn't. As for me though, I rated a firm 7 out of 10. Good, but with its fair share of problems, which a good polish could fix. I know I yelled at the game for a few things, but that's because I care about it, and I want people wanting to make a game like Skelattack to take notes. I'm not opposed to short games, but Skelattack is a game that could easily benefit from added length and a firm polishing of what's currently in game. Skelattack really suffers from its lack of polish, and it's definitely not worth the $20 price point, despite the amount of love and care that went into it. Truly a tragedy. Luckily, however, the developers, Ukuza, are thriving still, and that's a good thing. I know they can make something amazing, and I'm willing to give their other games a shot, should them pique my interest. Thanks for watching this episode of The Grind. What games would you like to see next? Comment down below and maybe it will become a future episode. Now leave me alone. I have monsters to skin down at their human bones.